The number one reason real estate agents fail in this industry, I got a whole stack of candy here. We're going to talk about exactly why that is. We're going to do a little trick or treat marketing, and I want you to see why there's such a high failure rate with real estate agents in this industry. We know that 80% of all agents are out of the business within their first 2 years. We know that the vast majority of agents, the average is under 5 transactions a month. And of course, the biggest reason for that, they're depending on their sphere, and their sphere is not big enough. I wanted to talk to you a little bit step by step on how you can build a bigger business and talk about the real reason so many agents fail. You know, a lot of agents get into business, they sell to their parents, their sister, and their best friend, and then they got to figure out, what am I going to do to pick up business? Let's say that all of this candy here, we got some Smarties. I know you like Smarties. We got some Warheads here, the extreme sours. All of these candies here, let's say every one of these is a lead in the local marketplace. So if you do work your sphere of influence, but then you're buying Zillow leads, you're buying something from realtor.com, you got all these different websites that are trying to sell you leads and do them for different deals and that type of thing. How many of them are really ready right now? Because when you get leads, you're trying to get appointments. That's not what the lead's looking for. The lead's looking for an individual house, and they may not even be in a hurry. There's going to be a small percentage of them that are ready right now, and a boatload of them are looking for a long time. You have to remember, buying and selling a house, it's a process, not an event. It takes a little time to make that happen. If you get a lead from 1 o'clock in the morning, you see it the next morning, you're trying to call them up and set an appointment right now. They may not be ready for that. So let's say that every one of these pieces of candy represents a lead in the marketplace. The fact is, only 10% of those are going to buy in the next 60 days. So let's take this little bitty number right here. 10% of these leads are going to buy in the next 60 days. Well, these are the folks that are on every website. They're filling out all the forms. You've probably had leads from realtor.com and Zillow, same person, because they're everywhere. They're desperately looking, and they're in a big hurry. This 10% right here, yes, it can be very profitable, but everybody's all over them. They got contacts from the open houses they went to, from the signs that they called on, from the websites they've been on, from the things they're signing up for. So this 10%, agents are all over them. You can't really break through that noise. Now, these 90% here, they're kind of leads, but they're not in a big hurry. Everybody's going to ignore these, okay? This is where everybody's spending their time, and they're doing everything they can. They're following up with them, and they know this is a hot lead. And by the way, you should do the same. But you know where everybody's messing up? It's 90% here. These folks that are going to be selling in 3, 4, 5, 6 months, that are going to be listing their home for sale, and they're just not ready yet. They're waiting on kids to get out of school for the summer. They're waiting until the holidays are over. Whatever that situation is, the fact is, this is huge money. I want you to start looking at annual income for yourself. And what do we do with this 90% of people that are online? They're filling out forms, they're interested, they're shopping, they're on Zillow, they got searches set up, they're definitely looking, but they're not ready yet. And they're going to tell you, we're not in a hurry, we don't want to meet yet, that type of thing. Well, how do you have a follow-up campaign to do a really good job with these folks? Because they're utterly ignored. Everybody else is worried about this. And you should do this. You should get your consistent revenue. But let's say, as an example, you got 5 deals in contract that are all new construction. Today, you wrote a contract on 5 buyers. Your business is going to suck for the next 5 or 6 months. But in 6 months, you got 5 closings. So if you do, now next month, we close 2 more we get 2 more in contract. Guess what? In 8 months, we're going to have a bunch more closings. So this is future bank for you. This is immediate bank. This is future bank. But future bank is in this calendar year. What are you sending to them? What kind of marketing do you have going out? How are you following up with them? I don't ever want you to call them, ever. A phone call is unwanted and unwelcome. It's not necessary. I do not want you to call them. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have a good educational-based follow-up campaign that's helpful, educational. They're happy they received it. That can be email, text message, Facebook retargeting, direct mail, virtually everywhere they're looking, your YouTube channel. These are things you have to get in place if you're going to succeed as an agent. You have to get in place. If you do not get this in place, you are going to be fighting over this, and you're going to get very, very little business. The reason we do our morning meetings every week, the reason I'm showing you how to do this stuff is because if you implement, you're going to make a lot more money. This makes 2025 tremendously profitable for you. You're fighting over these for next month. But then 3 months from now, you got a couple more closings. On the 4th month, you got a couple more. On the 5th month, you've got a couple more. And that's one of those Smarties. That's one of those luxury deals. On the 6th month, you got 3 more deals. Plus, you're still fighting over these every month. This is how you fix your business because this becomes your sphere of influence. See, your goal is to grow, we call it your universe, all the people that know you, all your contacts, past clients, unconverted leads, family members, friends, college buddies, all of that stuff. But I included unconverted leads. Your sphere should grow every single day. If I've got 5 more leads coming into this bucket, but I can market to that entire bucket the same way, they can get a minimum of 1 email from me every single week. They can get a minimum of 1 text from me every 2 to 3 weeks. Okay? Keep in mind, you've heard me say this before, if I email them every Friday for 10 weeks, how many emails did they get? Let me give you that again. If I email them every Friday for 10 weeks, how many emails did they get? Correct. 3. You have a 30% open rate. The others went off into the ether, went into their spam box, got deleted unopened. You already know that if you do it every week for 10 weeks, that's 2.5 months. They got 3 emails from you in 2.5 months. Don't give too much credit to the amount of attention they're paying to you. You need better subject lines. You need better text. You need a better way to pull them through that sales copy. So this is where the money is really made. It won't be immediate because all we worry about is that immediate money. How do I fight over this 10% that all the agents are going after them? All the agents are trying to discount commissions and everything else. These folks right here, I can build trust, authority, and credibility. I can be 3 months from now, I can be the only agent they interview. I can get a premium fee. I can earn a premium fee, do a great job for them, and have another happy client. But if you're not doing this, these 2 closings, these 2 closings, these 2 closings, these 2 closings never happen because you're fighting over the scraps. You're fighting over the immediate food that you think you need to have, when in reality, your business requires you to build a huge sphere of influence. You need a bigger list. Whoever has the biggest list always wins as long as they cultivate that list correctly. Give them helpful educational information. Go to cnbc.com and click on the real estate link. There's all kinds of stuff on there. Stuff about mortgages going up, mortgages going down, number of home sales, home prices going up, home prices going down, the 5 reasons you should buy a house, the 7 reasons you should sell your home right now. Forward those links. Have an independent third-party, credible news feed that's not Republican or Democrat. It's financial. It's cnbc.com. It's not Fox or CNN. You're not going to run into that issue if you're educating them the right way. And if you build this list, if you get all the people that are ready to go, they want to buy or sell, but they're not yet going to pull the trigger, this is where the money is made. So 2 months from now, we have this. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. It keeps building, and you're still fighting over your regular day-to-day, just like you do right now. You're missing out on the real money because you're not cultivating a list and getting those crops ready to pick. You're not educating them, giving them all the information they need so you can help them along the way. The reason we do this is we want to make absolutely certain that we always have more checks coming. We know we have 60 days from now, 90 days from now, and beyond. We know there's always going to be business there because we're cultivating that crop. We're farming a list of people that know me, like me, and trust me. If you follow us with Inner Circle, if you're involved with Greg Luther Inner Circle Coaching, you see a lot of this. You see what we're doing, the type of content we're giving them. It doesn't become a job. Like if you're sending an email, you can send an email to 7,000 people just as quickly as you can one. So it does not take time to do this. It takes effort, strategy, and specific approaches, the direction you need to grow your real estate business. This is where the money is made. Stop fighting over the immediate scraps because you feel like you're starving right now. You got to do that, but you need to build this list so that the next month looks good and the month thereafter looks good. Every single month, I'm doing training calls on this. If you've been to gregsmonthlytraining.com, if you go there now, you'll see whatever our next one is. And this is going to be a really, really simple approach for you to have a bigger audience, a bigger sphere of influence. If you look at like the top producer in The Office from years and years ago, she's been selling for 40 years. She's just got a big past client database, and that's where she pulls all her business from. And that's the reason she sells so much house. Well, that's what we're doing here. We can build a database in a matter of 90 days that took her 40 years to build to have 500 people. We can do that in 90 days, and we can cultivate them. But you don't have to sell them a house for them to know you, like you, and trust you. Provide helpful educational content. Show them how the process works of selling their home, buying a home, why they should sell now, even if mortgage rates are higher than the mortgage that they have, which, by the way, will be for the rest of their life. Whenever they move, if they move 70 years from now, the mortgage they would get on their next home is going to be more than the one they have now. It will never be lower, ever. We're not going to have another worldwide pandemic. So you have to educate them a little bit, work this list that nobody else touches, and guess what? You have a fence around your herd. Poachers can't get in. This is your crop that you're growing, and you can pluck them out as they're ready. Nobody else is going to bother your sphere of influence. It's a tremendous opportunity if you go about this the right way. Hopefully this is helpful for you and you understand this analogy. These things may not make it back into the bag today, but I want you to really start thinking about growing your own list and getting your business going in the right direction. Each week, as we do our morning meetings, hopefully you're following the page here and you ring the bell, turn on notifications, because every week I'm showing you what you need to do to grow your real estate business. I'm Greg Luther, honored to have you watching, and we'll talk soon.